Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm actually excited to be doing this review. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this movie Brotherhood, but I only just saw it like a week ago when it came out on Prime Video, which I was really looking forward to seeing it. Even when it came out in the cinemas in 2022, I wasn't able to see it, but I am so happy that it finally came out on Prime Video because everyone was talking about it. And it's like, I don't know, do you guys, this SpongeBob meme where it's like you're looking out of the window and everyone is just playing outside, but you're inside and you can't do anything. That's how I felt, because I'm like, I want to see this movie, I want to know what it's about and all of that, but I wasn't able to, and I'm so excited that it's finally out. If you've not seen it, you should definitely check it out. So this review is going to be about Brotherhood, and I'm actually excited. So let's get into it. First of all, this movie, there was a lot going on in this film, you guys. There was a lot. But it stars a lot of big names, a lot of actors that we are very familiar with, from Osi Ukeje, Ronke Oshodi, Sam Dede, Toby Bakre, Fowles, Boma, Dorothy, Diane, Shay from Big Brother, Omar Wumi, Mr. Macaroni, Tony Tones, Zubi Michael, and even Basket Mouth. So, these names are names that we're very, very familiar with. We are familiar with their faces, and we've seen them in a couple of things. The story follows Wale and Akin, two twin brothers who found themselves on the streets after their parents were murdered when they were kids, kind of like a robbery, and they're orphans, so they basically grew up on the streets with not so much. As adults, they are now on opposite sides of society. Wale is a police officer. Wale is played by Fowles, and Akin, played by Toby Bakre, is a criminal who is basically in and out of jail. And the story basically follows a heist and how these two brothers basically come to a collision, and how they're able to come out of that situation as one on this side of the fence and the other one on this other side of the fence. This review, there's not going to be spoilers. I'm going to do my best not to give out spoilers, even though a lot of people have seen this movie, but I'm not going to give out too much spoilers because I'm trying to make this review as short as possible. So let's go there. Anyways, I'm going to talk about what I loved about this film, and then I'll go into what I did not really love. The first thing I would say is I really love the acting. The choice of the cast, it was good for the most part. I particularly loved Osi Ukeje. I love Osi so much, you guys. Like, he's one of my favorite Nollywood actors. I'm always so excited to see him in the movie because I know he's going to do a good job. Like, I have 100% faith in him. So I'm never disappointed in his acting. I'm never disappointed in him in any movie that he plays, any role he plays, any movie he stars in. He always does a good job. I've always loved him since Amstel Malta film, White Waters. I don't know if you guys have seen that film. It's quite old, but I think that was one of his first films, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was one of his first films, and I really love that movie. I think it was with Rita Dominic. It was such a nice film. I think I saw it like a couple of times, even though I was really young, but I saw it a couple of times and I did enjoy that film. And ever since then, I've always been a fan of OC, and I loved seeing him in this film because this was such a different character, a different role that he stepped into, and I really love seeing actors in a different light. Seeing OC play this character was really nice, and he's mostly known for like dramas and romantic dramas and stuff like that, but this is very different for him to be, with the dreads, and he just looks so good as in this role. And going forward, I hope I see him, doing more roles that are different, hopefully. Also, another person that I thought was perfect for his role was Toby playing Akin. I think he was a really good fit as this character. He did a good job, even for the fact that he's not really been acting for that long, but he really did a good job. I think he stood out for me, even with fouls. Like, there was no point where I felt like they were doing too much or not doing enough. Like, I just felt like it was a good balance. And for fouls, I love that this is a very different role. We're always seeing him in comedies doing different voices and accents, which, to be honest, I find very cringe. So it was a breath of fresh air to see him like just himself, not necessarily himself, but like using his regular voice and all of that. Like, it was just nice to see, and I loved it. I think he was a good fit for the role, and they did a good job. I thought that the cinematography was good. I loved how it looked. The setting, the settings were good, because there were certain scenes where they actually like went to some parts of Lagos to shoot that made everything just look more believable. And I love when they do that with films. Like, I go to certain places and film these scenes. Like, it just makes everything look good, and I love that about this movie. Another thing I really loved was the stunts. Honestly, guys, Nollywood is doing an amazing job these days. Like, I know that, yes, they're bad movies, just like Hollywood or any other movie industry. They are the bad ones, but when they are good ones, give it to them. Like, just say it as it is. There's no need to sugarcoat it. Say it as it is. The stunts was good. They did a good job. Because I think I saw some videos of the behind the scenes where they were like jumping into different things, and and I just love that they were using like stuntsmen to do all these things and all of that, because it creates more jobs for people who are good at all these things. So that was a good one for me. I loved the stunts. I loved how it just looked good. It wasn't over the top for me, and it wasn't like, it didn't lack. I think it was a good one from the stunts team and all of that. I love the dialogue. I didn't find it cringe in any way, but sometimes you tend to find all these things really cringe, because you've seen this type of movie before in so many different forms, so many different ways. You're just seeing it with different actors, and I didn't find the dialogue cringe or anything. Like, I thought it was okay. Yeah, I think those are like the things that I love about the movie. There was nothing that stood out for me with the soundtrack. There was really nothing that stood out for me. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm going to say about what I loved. So now let's get into what I did not really like. There are certain things about this movie that I really wish was better. One thing that I felt like was a big error was the character development. There was really poor character development. There was nothing about these characters that made me feel emotionally invested or made me care for them or their decisions, made me understand why they were doing what they were doing, what was the thought process behind it, what was pushing them to do these things. Like, there was really nothing for me. I wish we got a bit more backstory. There were just a lot of gaps everywhere. There was no backstory regarding Wale and Akin, why they really fell out. There was only one point in the film where they talked about the fact that Akin stole drugs for Wale at a point in time, maybe when they were teenagers or something, because he was sick, and that was probably the first time he went to prison, and from there he just kept on going back to prison, non-stop. But there was nothing that made me understand that these brothers have love for each other, regardless of the fact that they were on the opposites, or like on opposite sides of society. There was nothing. Like, I should understand that, okay, yes, they love each other, even though one is a criminal, one is a police officer, they are willing to do anything for each other. There was so much focus on the fact that they were on opposite sides of the society, but there was no focus on why they fell out, like showing us how much they love each other. Like, there was nothing. So it just made everything feel blank, if that's the right word to use. It just felt blank. It just felt it just did not sink in for me. And some of the actors, I know I said they were good, you know, the acting was good and all of that, but there was some actors that they just did not have that charisma that these other actors had. Diane, for the most part, she did an okay job, but it just felt a bit off. As well as Dorothy, Boma, and Shei. It was just something, like there was no chemistry with the other cast. The chemistry between Kamsi, played by Dorothy, and Wale was zero. It was zero for me. First of all, their relationship went from 0 to 100. Like, it just went like bam, 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 bam. I'm like, come on, you guys only just met. The next minute she's pregnant. The next minute she gets, like, it's like, okay, there's nothing to make us, you know, root for the relationship, love the fact that, you know, they're in a relationship. It was just not there for me. And I really wish it was better, because if the storyline is not really tying together, it just makes the movie not really feel that good. And I wish they did a better job with this. And I'm just remembering that there was one scene in the beginning where the SWAT team, they were trying to like burst into this building with criminals and everything, and they were using a stethoscope to listen to what was going on the other side. I'm like, wait, come on. hold on. Hold on. That really made me burst out laughing, because I'm like, wait, I know that I'm not a police officer, but I've never in my life like seen anything like this before. I'm sure that police officers go around with stethoscopes trying to hear what's going on. Like, that was just a big error for me. And the shooting, the blood, it looked very off. The blood especially looked really fake. There was just so much, like, they're shooting, but there's like blood everywhere. And this movie had a lot of shootings, like back to back. So why is the blood looking so fake? And so, especially when they zoomed in, it just looked so fake. Like, you can splash it all around how you want, but it doesn't make it look any more real. It doesn't. So I just wish they did a bit, you know, something better with that. But for the most part, it was a good film. I thought it was going to be better, to be honest, because of the way everyone was talking about it. Even though I tried to watch with zero expectations, but it was just not hitting the way I thought it was going to hit. I would give this a 6.5 over 10, just because there were just a lot of gaps everywhere that could have been better. If you enjoyed this video, I enjoyed doing this review. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't. If it's your first time on my channel, don't forget to subscribe before leaving, and make sure you share this video if you can. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.